Do you want to talk about family law? Join Bradders on Dreamcatcher Radio every Saturday, 12 till 2, discussing what he believes is the most important matter.
How are you all doing?
Let us therefore brace ourselves to our duty. So bear ourselves that if the British Empire and its Commonwealth last for 1,000 years, men will still say, this was their finest hour.
Tune in to dreamcatcherradio.co.uk every Tuesday at 2 p.m. for a dose of reality. If you're woke, I suggest you put a nappy on, because you will not like what I've got to say.
Never give in. Never give in. Never, never, never. In nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in except to convictions of honour and good sense.
I look at the events of the week, what's happened, what's going to happen, what we can or can't do about it. Be under no illusion, we, the people of the world, are under attack from the elite, and I intend to expose each and every one of them, regardless of the personal cost. We play some great tunes and we have a lot of laughs. Dreamcatcherradio.co.uk. The Englishman in Sweden, Michael Dean, otherwise known as Mr Marmite. If you listen, you might understand why. You'll love me or you'll hate me.
Never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are you? I hope you're all feeling good. This is the Englishman who lives in Sweden on Dreamcatcher Radio. We have got so much to get through today that it is scary. I mean, really scary. Greenland, what is going on in Greenland? Oh, I can tell you, it's quite a lot. And you're going to be surprised as the reasons behind it. Meghan Markle, she's more unpopular than P. Diddy. I find that absolutely fascinating. Now tell me, has Donald Trump lost the plot? Or is he, what he's doing now, the greatest deal he's ever made? Oh, there's so much to dig into there with what's happened with him and the Venezuelan president. It's pretty scary. Denmark, Greenland, the Kingdom of Greenland, that is. Oh, we're going to talk about that. Colombia, Cuba, your heads are on the block. And meanwhile, the pathetic excuse of a leader called Keir Starmer is out of his depth and is together with all of his mates at the coalition of the stupid. Time for some music. Welcome to Dreamcatcher Radio with me, Michael Dean, Englishman in Sweden. I'm doing a tribute to this lot this year. One of my favourite bands from Yorkshire, Def Leppard. We're heading to Armageddon. Let's Armageddon. Good afternoon and welcome. Dreamcatcher Radio.
Are you getting it?
All the way through Sheffield and Rotherham, actually. Yorkshire, that's the most important thing. They're from Yorkshire. Being a Yorkshire lad myself, I can tell you now, you can take the lad out of Yorkshire, but you can't take Yorkshire out of the lad. Well, good afternoon and welcome. I hope you've all had a brilliant new year. I want to wish you all a happy, successful, prosperous, safe, peaceful and happy new year, but I don't think we're going to get any of them, do you? Hey, oh, Trumpy boy, Donald Trump. He's lost. Well, I think he's lost the plot, or has he? I mean, this is the big question. This is what we should all be asking: has Trump lost the plot, or is he pulling a stroke of genius? I mean, Colombia, right? It's not Colombia. Sorry, Venezuela. Medusa, whatever his name is a nasty little tyrant, and he's punished his own citizens, 17,000 political prisoners at the moment, which is quite high. Thousands of people have disappeared and died under his regime. And you have to think to yourself, well, you know, he might be a horrible, nasty tyrant, but is it Donald Trump's place to go in there and remove him? Personally, I don't think it is, but this is just my own opinion. And I've been getting a lot of kickback, pushback, and a lot of anger thrown at me on social media for saying exactly what I'm going to say now. Now, I believe that Trump is a fantastic businessman. We can't deny it. I mean, I did a song back in 2019 for 2020's election called We Love USA. I'm going to be playing that shortly, actually, because a guy called Big Mac contacted me and Jerry, the producer, and asked if he can record it, and is a big country and western guy. So we're going to play you that version in a minute. It's pretty good. And it ties into my plans to move from on stage to behind the scenes, which is what I really want to do. But, you know, America has been in a decline since Obama, really. You know, giving away everything, stepping back on the world scene. Americans declining influence on the world. And what Trump's just done now is slap China and Russia flat and square in the face. Well, it's not just a slap. I think it's more like a massive blow with an hammer to the head of China and Russia. Because Venezuela was the petrol station for Putin and China. China have invested billions in Venezuela, so they're really spat the dummies out, aren't they? You can see them all running around now with the little schoolgirl knickers on and spitting out the dummies. They're not right happy. And Putin, he's had it too easy for too long. Before we do go into this in depth, because it really is a lot to get through. It's a massive subject, and I've spent the last couple of nights researching, and some of the facts I've got here, I actually will believe will blow your mind, because this is not the sort of stuff they talk about on TV. It's not the sort of stuff they talk about on commercial radio stations. Luckily for me, I'm on Dreamcatcher Radio, where we have freedom of speech, and it's probably the fastest growing radio station in the United Kingdom around now. I have listeners all over the world. So hello everybody around the world. How you all diddling? And some of the stuff that's happening is it's unfathomable. We've got America listening at the moment, actually, in Alaska. We're going to get round to you a lot in a bit. Hopefully that's Steve the Entertainer having a listen to me with his beautiful girlfriend, because I'm going to play your music shortly, Steve. He's gone back over there because his tour was so successful. Steve, Move to America, stay there, and I will come over and get your beautiful future wife to find me a beautiful friend. There you go, got that out of the way. But listen to this, right? I've been a massive fan of Trump's for years. I've been at Trump Plaza. My first red flag was when I saw an adrenochrome office in Trump Plaza, but I still bought a tie that cost me $115. And then some Irish bird nicked it when I was performing in Dublin and ran off with it. Oh, that wasn't good. But what is the difference between what Trump's doing now with Venezuela and what Putin's done to the Crimea? I can't see any differences apart from the languages that they speak, and who's getting the money and who's getting the minerals and who's getting the goods. Is Donald Trump making America great again, or is he reverting to cowboy times? When I get back, we're going to talk about that. Here's one of my favourite bands, and he's back again. Here's Bon Jovi, legendary. Good afternoon and welcome to Dreamcatcher Radio. With me, Michael D. Englishman in Sweden.
Who are you and who am I to think that we could ever fly? You don't pay to even try. Work, get paid and just get by. Sons of sons, bricks on bricks. What's broken you don't try to fix. Down here there ain't no whys and ifs. You don't pick up what you can't lift. I raise my head to the sky. Don't need more to tell me I'm alive. Got what I want 'cause I got what I need. Got a fist full of friends that'll stand up for me. Right where I am is where I wanna be. Friday night comes around like a song. Sweet Caroline and we all sing along. Got my brown-eyed girl and she believes in me. Legendary. I know this town like the back of my hand. Every crack in the sidewalk tells me who I am. Living in love is the law of the land. These are our dreams, that's where we stand. Raise my head to the sky. Don't need more to tell me I'm alive. Got what I want 'cause I got what I need. Got a fist full of friends that'll stand up for me. Right where I am is where I wanna be. Friday night comes around like a song. Sweet Caroline and we all sing along. Got my brown-eyed girl and she believes in me. Legendary. Who are you and who am I to think that we could ever fly? Got what I want 'cause I got what I need. Got a fist full of friends that'll stand up for me. Right where I am is where I wanna be. Friday night comes around like a song. Sweet Caroline and we all sing along. Got my brown-eyed girl and she believes in me. Legendary.
Welcome back, John Bon Jovi. Glad you recovered from your surgery, your vocal problems. I love Bon Jovi.
Legendary.
3 years ago I started my tribute to Bon Jovi called Always in Cyprus. I was the only one, mega successful. Now there's 3 of them. So, follow me if you can. I'll still be doing Bon Jovi, but now I'm concentrating on Def Leppard, as I've said before, with Love Bites tribute. But right, let's get down to the nitty gritty, shall we? Steve, in America, if you're listening, hold on tight, mate. A couple of tracks. I'm going to play 2 of your brilliant songs. Right. This is going to be heavy, and it's quite a long section. There's going to be a lot of this show today dedicated to the Golden One over there in America, wherever he is now, sat behind his throne of power and just deciding who should I capture this week, who should I destroy this week. It's one of those, isn't it? See, I've been a huge fan of Trump's, I really have, but what he's done now, I actually can't stand Keir Starmer and all the lefty wokes, but I'm on the fence about going into another country and snatching a president of a country. But this really is what it's all about. The biggest economic boom in American history just started. Venezuela. America's just seized 17.3 trillion in oil reserves. Let that sink in. 17.3 trillion in oil reserves. Venezuela has 303 billion barrels of oil, and the US now controls it. At $57 a barrel, that's 17.3 trillion. Even selling at half price, that's 8.7 trillion. But this was more than just securing oil. In 12 hours, America just secured, get this, the largest oil reserves on Earth, fuel for the AI and EV boom, energy dominance over China, and it did it while ending a nightmare that Venezuelans have lived through for years. Now, there are over 17,000 political prisoners in Venezuela. I know, thousands disappear. Anybody who spoke up against him, they were dealt with, weren't they? You know, we look at that and say, how is that possible? Did you know that in the United Kingdom, 90,000 people are reported for hate speech and bullying? Oh, get your tissues out. Grow a pair. Anybody bullies me, I tell them what to do. And it happens a lot in my... I just had it this week, with other Rod Stewart tribute artists trying to wind me up, and other artists on islands trying to wind me up because I'm not just singing Rod, they can all do one. I don't care what any of them think. But right, 2026 will be the biggest financial boom in US history. By theft or by crook or by whatever way it looks like with Trump. Trump's just proved that the wealthy knew what the wealthy knew for years. You don't win by doing the work. You win by controlling the distribution. Like Rockefeller on the oil distribution, not wells, Trump didn't drill Venezuela's oil. He seized the flow. Nations do it on a global scale. And anyone can do it on a local scale. Just like countries have craves for oil, businesses crave sales. Now, 90% of online businesses are struggling to get more customers. Right? This is a fact, right? They really are. Traffic and attention is the new oil. Control the flow of it, get rewards massively. And the opportunity for everyday people. We don't have any opportunities, do we? We really don't. You know, Trump's not just annexed. He has his annexed, let's be honest about it, is annexed Venezuela. This calamity of a trial which is happening right now with Medusa and his wife. I mean, the guy's changed clothes more times than what I do in a week. Hey, Trump's just doing what he wants. He's controlling the distribution, and he's reaping the rewards. I don't really get what's going on. Why? I know that he openly threatened the Colombian Prime Minister, said you're next. And he's threatened Cuba, which to a degree I understand because that is America's backyard, and you want to be secure, you want to be safe in your own backyard. But I mean, this is a bit of an overreach. It's not. This is quite simple, right? Keir Starmer, there's 90,000 online complaints to the police every day by fellow Brits on other Brits. There are people being arrested and jailed for tweets. There are people being arrested and jailed and blacklisted and blocked from all social media sites for political points of view. What's the difference between Donald Trump and Nicholas, whatever his name is, in Colombia? Trump hasn't arrested Starmer. I bet a lot of you like me wish that he would. He's got to be the weakest, worst Prime Minister in British history. It's all about oil in Venezuela, and it's all about smacking China and Russia with a big right hook right on the end of the chin, a bit like Anthony Joshua did to Jake Paul. Only has not broke China's jaw or Russia's jaw. He's just massively upset him. Big trouble brewing down there. There's 25% of the American fleet off the coast of Venezuela. There's 25% of the Russian fleet just down the way in Panama. And it's just a powder keg. It's going to be absolutely monstrous. Now, that's just one issue in one part of the world, and Trump's just got away with it. He knows that the coalition of the willing, yes, that's that sad sack of people meeting and rimming each other right now in Paris. Ooh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to stop him saying this and stop him saying that. They can't stop anything. They can't stop a rubber boat crossing the channel into the United Kingdom. Ursula von der Leyen has signed a deal with Bill Gates to vaccinate 500 million children by 2030. That's slipped under the radar, hasn't it? As of so many other things. Epstein, where's all his files gone? 1 million of them. No one's talking about them. Why? Because we're all talking about what Trump has done to the Prime Minister or President of Venezuela. This show's going to be so much. I've got so much to talk about. And we're going to talk about Greenland when I get back. Welcome to Dreamcatcher Radio with Michael Dean, the Englishman in Sweden. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. If you like me, you like me. If you hate me, you hate me. That's why they call me Mr Marmite. So much to get through. Here's a brilliant chat. Robert Miles and children. Good afternoon. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, right. Trump now is threatening Denmark over Greenland. And everybody's saying it's strategic, it's strategically placed. Bollocks. No. I'll tell you what it's all about. It's about rare earth elements. Lithium, graphite, iron ore, gold, zinc, nickel, uranium, and diamonds. Historically mined minerals, including cryolite, essential for aluminium production, and deposits of titanium, vanadium, molybdenum, niobium, and tantalum also exist, which makes Greenland extremely rich in strategic metals. Key minerals and deposits. So, for anybody believing that Trump wants Greenland because it's strategically placed, which it is, you've got to be right about it. You know, it's when the ice cap melts in about 30,000 years, it'll open up passages for Russia to ship from the mainland. But apart from that, that's not going to happen anytime soon, is it? Because the climax hoax is just what that's just said. It's a hoax. But rare earth elements, REEs, high demand for magnets in electric vehicles and turbines, with Greenland holding significant reserves in neodymium. I don't know. I can't even pronounce these words. Fasceralumine, disopronium, and terbium. God, it's a mouthful, isn't it? Imagine saying that when you'd have a few beers. Lithium and graphite, crucial for batteries in electric vehicles and energy storage. Iron ore, large deposits found in West Greenland, including the Isua area. Gold, prospective areas in the south were operational, already underway. Zinc and lead, significant undeveloped resources, particularly in northern Greenland. Nickel, found in various deposits with explorations ongoing. Zinc and lead, significant undeveloped resources, particularly in northern Greenland. Nickel, found in various deposits and exploring ongoing. Diamonds, present in the west and potential other regions. Uranium and thorium, deposits present through extractions faces political hurdles. Well, doesn't everything. Titanium and vanadium, known deposits in the southeast and the south. Molybdenum, niobium, and tantalum, imported for steel alloys in high-tech applications with commercial potential. Industrial minerals, including minerals for construction, fillers, and historical cryolite, lithium mine. I can't even pronounce half of these. The significance of all this. These resources are central to Greenland's goal of achieving greater self-sufficiency. Now, this is important. Greenland's goal of achieving greater self-sufficiency and independence from Denmark, driving interest from global powers seeking to secure supply chains for green technologies. Now, I would say that is probably more the reason why Buffalo Bill Trump has gone into or wants to take Greenland. He wants to secure the energy and power which was dwindling for the United States of America, and he don't care whose toes he treads on. The gloves are off and he's not messing about. But this is not the only part of it. There's another part of this, right? Back in 1917, there was a treaty signed between the US, Denmark, and the British government was involved in those talks because of Greenland's proximity to Canada, which at the time was governed by Britain. This treaty outlines a deal in which the US purchased a cluster of Caribbean islands, now called the US Virgin Islands, from Denmark for $25 million in exchange for recognition of Danish sovereignty over Greenland. It was signed by then President Woodrow Wilson and his Secretary of State Robert Lansing. I do not know why President Trump's civil servants have not shown him the document that his predecessor, President Wilson, signed. This official document that say Greenland has been and will always be Danish, Hoyman told NPR in a phone interview Monday from Germany, where he now lives. The final text of the 1970 treaty. Now, this is all about Greenland and the treaty which America and Britain signed off on, that Denmark Denmark owns Greenland. The final text in 1917 treaty makes no mention of any British role, but Hoyen, who is an expert on Greenland's history, says British support for the treaty was contingent upon this point. The idea was that if Denmark ever got the stupid idea to sell Greenland, then the United Kingdom had the first right to buy it or be consulted on its future. Because of Canada, he says. Now, let's put this into perspective. The Schengen Isles is loaded with rare minerals. Starmer gave that away. It's insane what Starmer's giving away without a fight. This continues. This gets deeper. Believe me, it gets deeper. NPR has asked the British Library and the UK National Archives for copies of any declassified diplomatic cables that might support Hayham's account, but has not yet heard back. Another expert on the Arctic tells NPR she's never heard of any such British claim. Okay, well, with the government we've got now, they'll be happy about that. It hasn't been part of any mainstream academic or diplomatic conversations, she says. Well, of course not. If it had been on mainstream, we wouldn't be having this conversation now. We live in a world of rules-based order, says Jennifer Spence, director of the Arctic Initiative at the Bella Center for Science and International Affairs at Harvard University. Ooh, isn't she clever? If we started opening up historical agreements on all former colonies of different countries, things would get pretty chaotic pretty quick. Well, let me tell you something now, Jennifer. 2026 has started the most chaotic I can remember in my 63 years on this planet. Russia could come to the US and ask for Alaska back, and so they should. They sold it. Cheap. Hey. She told NRP by phone in a conference from Norway. Right, let's get to the nitty-gritty. As for British officials, no matter what their predecessors may or may not have said in the lead-up to this 1917 treaty, they are unlikely to get involved in any current discussions over Greenland's future. That's because they are all cowards. The UK Foreign Secretary, David Lammy, God, it's not. Oh, he's Deputy PM now. The man's an absolute arsehole. David Lammy repeatedly downplayed Trump's claims. In response to the NPR query, the UK Foreign Office wrote in an email Monday that it considers Greenland to be part of Denmark and that its future state is a matter for the people, the government of Greenland and the Kingdom of Denmark. I disagree, and I think Donald Trump disagrees. NPR also contacted the Danish Prime Minister's office, the Danish Foreign Ministry and Greenland's Committee in Denmark's Parliament for comment about Hoyam's account, but has not yet heard back. Well, I wrote to Meta's office asking why they've banned every type of dog from entering into Denmark. And don't believe what you hear about them banning the burqa. That is a load of rubbish. For its part, Greenland has asserted its right to self-determination, and most Greenlanders favour independence from Denmark. One recent poll with a small sample size showed a majority favour joining the United States. There you go, that's interesting. But Hoyes says many Greenlanders are irritated with Trump's talk of a takeover. It's a US businessman's way of operating, he says. We are modern people now, and we use the words. Hoyes says many Greenlanders really don't want Trump to take over. It's a US businessman's way of operating, he says. We are a modern people now, and we use the words buy and sell. That's a ghost from the past. I've got to say I agree. And I think it's a big mess. I really don't think it's a monumental mess. And it's not going to stop anytime soon, is it? Of course, Keir Starmer's come out and said, I'll stand together with Meta, with NATO, and Europe warns US invasion again, Greenland. I've never heard Trump say that he wants to invade Greenland. I've heard him say he wants to buy it. I've heard him say he wants to annex it. I've heard him say he wants to colonize it and make it a part of the United States of America, but I've never heard him say he wants to invade it. And as I've previously stated, I've been a massive fan of Trump for years. And a guy called Big Mac, right, you're going to get this, a guy called Big Mac contacted Jerry, my producer, right after Trump snatched Mendoza from Venezuela. And this guy apparently is an up-and-coming country and western star. And he contacted Jerry regarding a song that me and him wrote called We Love USA. And he said, can I have permission to make a country version of it? Because I love the song and I think it's fitting for the mega foundation. And there's a lot of negativity about Trump. I mean, my mate was in America, said it cost him $150 for 2 steaks at Christmas. So much for the cost of living coming down, Donald. And me and Jerry gave Big Mac the right to record it, and Jerry's produced it, and this is the result. This is a song that I released 6 years ago for Trump's presidency run. This is We Love USA, written by myself and Jerry Neal, and Big Mac singing it. I hope you enjoy it.
I will fight for you, and I will win for you.
We never back down, stand on holy ground. We own the power, we love USA. We never back down, we stand on holy ground. We own the power, we love USA. We love USA, hey, we love USA. Let me hear you say Trump rocks. Okay. He's $1 billion man, he never gets paid. He gives his money to the vets who serve the USA. Don't try to get him, he's building the wall. His word is his promise, so you can sleep safe in USA. We never back down, stand on holy ground. We own the power, we love USA. We never back down, we stand on holy ground. We own the power, we love USA. We love USA, hey, we love USA. Let me hear you say Trump rocks. Okay. A great woman stands behind every great man. Mulaney's my favorite first lady from a different land. So when you go to vote, make no mistake, put your tick next to Trump's name. Keep America great again. Trump train is coming. Trump train is coming. We never back down, stand on holy ground. We own the power, we love USA. We never back down, we stand on holy ground. We own the power, we love USA. Trump train is coming. Trump train is coming. We never back down, stand on holy ground. We own the power, we love USA. We never back down, we stand on holy ground. We own the power, we love USA. We love USA, hey, we love USA. Let me hear you say Trump rocks. Okay. Trump train is coming.
That's Big Mac.
Trump train
The song that
is
myself
coming.
and Jerry wrote and released 6 years ago.
Trump train is
Hopefully that's a
coming.
bigger success.
Trump train is coming.
That's Big Mac. We Love USA, Toxic Music, and that was the world's first premiere broadcasting of that song. I actually think it's pretty cool. I was a little bit sceptical when Jerry said, this guy wants to make a country and western version. I'm like, well, country and western is massive now, isn't it? It really is. It's probably the biggest genre of music, so why not? I thought to myself, right, we're going to have a little break from Trump and all of his saber rattling and kidnapping and, well, it's just insane times, isn't it? Insane times. And do you know, right, in Sweden, listen to this, right, I'm just going to give you the Danish, this is we'll stick on the Danish theme. She said she's really fit. She's a really fit actress. And she has said that if you watch porn while in a relationship, you're cheating. That's what actor Mary-Ann Bushell believes, that the biggest challenge in dating is men's porn brain. Well, let me tell you something now, Mary-Ann Bushell. I think the biggest problem with dating now is that, sorry to say, not all of you, but most of you women are leeches. Hey, I live alone now, and to be honest, I've never been happier. So there you go. I'm going to go over to America now because I know Steve's over there, and this is one of his best tracks he's made. This is A Kind of Love, Steve the Entertainer on Dreamcatcher Radio. Good afternoon.
Talk all night, even through the day. Your voice softly touches my brain. You say don't go crazy, we are just friends. But your voice which driving me insane. I see the storms behind your eyes, the hidden wars you try to hide. I can't help loving you, Lord knows I've tried. I saw a future and you were there. You were laughing, you looked so amazing. I reached out my hand to touch your face, then you were gone without a trace. Is this the kind of love, or am I blind? Why did they send you there? That's so unkind. It's not my fault, I feel this way. Ooh, don't ever take this love. Is this the kind of love? Why am I confused? I've been waiting for someone like you. Oh, you brighten up my day when I get a call. Time flashed away when I hear you. My mind goes crazy, full of things to say. So I'll make some songs, it's easier that way. You laugh when I say marry me, but one day you will see I'm just ahead of you, hoping you catch me. I saw a future and you were there. You were laughing and you looked so amazing. I reached out my hand to touch your face, then you were gone without a trace. Why did they send you there? That's so unkind. It's not my fault, I feel this way. Ooh, don't ever take this love. Is this the kind of love? Why am I confused? I've been Maybe I'm stupid, maybe I'm sad, but I know what I feel, I ain't no child. You got my emotion running wild. I saw a future and you were there. You were laughing, you looked so amazing. I reached out my hand to touch your face, then you were gone without a trace. Kind of love, or am I blind? Why did they send you there? That's so unkind. It's not my fault. I feel this way. Ooh, don't ever take this love. Is this a kind of love? Why am I confused? I've been waiting for someone like you. Oh, I'm not saying this to make you crazy, and I don't want you to be sad. You can't help the way you feel. I told you I'll never lie to you. I always say what's true. Is this a kind of love? 'Cause I'm so in love with you.
Steve the Entertainer. Kind of magic, or kind of love, sorry, on Dreamcatcher Radio. My mate who's over in Austin, Texas now with his beautiful partner for the rest of his life. God bless you, Steve. Get me over there, mate. You know, I actually think that war is inevitable. Now, I don't want to be the Grim Reaper or bringer of doom and gloom, but there's so much going on, and each country is collapsing in its own little way. And whilst Trump's just special services in and plucking out prime ministers and presidents, I think it's sending out a message that nobody's safe. And meanwhile, all this is going on, the pathetic excuse of a leader we've got, Starmer, is out of his depth, is the most unpopular PM in British history. Maduro, this is the Venezuelan one, he had 21% approval rating. Keir Starmer has got 18%. And he said, we, as a nation, stand with Denmark. Well, my granny's from Denmark, so obviously I do stand with Denmark. And it's just, I can see Denmark out my window. I don't particularly want to see it sink. I want to talk to Trump, said Keir Starmer. Maybe so, but obviously Trump doesn't want to talk to you, queer Keir. Now, the one thing, right, that really I don't get, well, I can't get my head around is Trump is so proud and he continually boasts about we closed the border, not one illegal asylum seeker or refugee crossed the southern border. Right, this is incredibly impressive because under Biden's term they estimate between 10 and 15 million people crossed into America from Mexico. Mexico's got a target on its head already as well from the old Trump. But if he can close the border and not one illegal immigrant crosses into America that way, he's got the resources, he's got the power, he could quite obviously stop drugs coming in via air and by the sea. It's just a no-brainer. If you can stop 10 to 12 million people crossing over a border, which is hundreds of miles long, you can quite easily defend your ports and your airports. But he don't want to do that, does he? He don't want to do that. He is more interested in the $17 trillion worth of oil. Venezuela is now a petrol pump for America. I find interesting as well that Pedro Sanchez from Spain is a fascist. Spain won't recognise what Trump's done. That's very interesting, that Sanchez, because do you think Trump gives the monkeys what you think? He's closed the borders, is doing what he wants. Meanwhile, in the United Kingdom, The boats have started again. 2026 is carrying on as 2025 ended, and there was a break in the weather and 800 people arrived. Their little dinghies. Now, there is some lads from Birmingham who are trying to stop it, and they're puncturing the boats and slashing the boats, and they're doing a great job. A big call out to you guys. Well done. But under the time that the boats have not been coming because the weather's bad, people from Gaza, Afghanistan, and Syria have still been flown in at night to Manchester Airport. It's over 15,000 of them now. 15,000. How many is that now? They're not telling us the truth, are they? I don't think Labour in particular are capable. I don't think they're capable of telling the truth. It's the worst. Just the worst government in history. Rapes exploded. Britain is now the rape capital of the world. Can you believe that? 2 years ago, it was between South Africa, Somalia, Eritrea, and Sweden to the highest rape per capita. It's gone. Sweden's dropped to 4th place now, which is pretty cool. Britain is number 1, probably due to the fact that they're importing thousands upon thousands of Eritreans, Somalians, Gazans, Syrians, Afghanis. Afghanis are shocking for it. The economy is collapsing. Sure, the FTSE, oh, here we go. The FTSE broke the 10,000 barrier. Round of applause. So the 3% made a fortune. But I was just at the supermarket before I came here making chicken and potatoes, and I bought a pack of butter, and it was £8. £8 for a pack of butter. This is the consequence of Zelensky and Putin and the EU's continued war in the Ukraine, which is absolutely getting nowhere, is it? The only thing that's achieving is the sacrifice of thousands upon thousands of young Ukrainians and Russians. It's coming up to 4 years. Can you believe it's coming up to 4 years? And there's not a word spoken about it now because Trump's doing what Trump's doing. Greenland, Venezuela, threatening Cuba. Where's it all going to end? As I've said, I think it's going to end up in war. I hope I'm wrong, but I had a vision about 2 years ago, and pretty much everything that I saw in that vision's coming to fruition at the moment, so it's not looking good. But don't take my word for it. So what I suggest that we all do is find somebody. It might be same sex, opposite sex. You might be a lettuce licker. You might like men. I personally like ladies. And I suggest you find yourself a beautiful woman or a beautiful guy, and you just make some nice food, do nice things, buy things that you've always wanted, because soon enough it's all over. But that's just my miserable my negativity coming through. You know, I've been married 3 times. I've loved a lot, and now the love of my life is a dog called Lily, and we go out and we walk, and I spoil her rotten, and I see my kids every day, which was the main reason in moving back to Sweden. There's no other reason I'm here, because believe you me, it's expensive, it's cold, it's grey and miserable, and the weather's not much better than the people. But I should be careful what I say, because I do have friends who are Swedish. I've got a couple of great friends who are Swedish. But the system here, it's Wallström that dictates it all. We've got a Prime Minister. Now, get this, right? The Prime Minister of Sweden, little Ulf Kristersson, is cozying up to the Turkish Prime Minister. Is cozying up to a regime that supports ISIS and Hamas and other terrorist organisations. I just, for the life of me, can't get my head around why it'd do that. You know, we literally 20 minutes on a boat from where I live to Denmark, and from there 40 minutes to the capital, and from there 15 minutes to a depot where Denmark and the Ukraine are building weapons and ammunitions together, and it's a massive target. 15 minutes the other way, we've got an airfield which is full now of Jazz fighter planes and American troops. There's a massive military operation going on because Trump has told Israel, they've got the green light to attack Iran. This is just breaking news. And we'll be talking about the consequences of this, for in particular a place where I should be going back to in a couple of months, in Cyprus. When I was there, it was hairy, scary. But now the Turks and the Greek Cypriots are really kicking off with each other. Cypriot farmers are getting picked on, they're getting bullied, they're getting attacked. And just 18 minutes by fighter jet over the water, you've got Israel, then you've got Syria, you've got... it's just going to be... It's a never-ending... It's never-ending, isn't it? Let's be honest about it. So just drink a lot and love a lot and do what you want. Now, about 6-7 years pre-COVID, I was in America, and I was lucky enough to see Carrie Underwood in concert, and an immense, probably the greatest American country guitarist, joined Carrie on stage, and did a version of this, which is just... Today it's a red day in Sweden. It's another religious day, and I can guarantee you, people don't even know why they're free. They don't know why they're free. They just think another red day. It's because of God, you ignoramuses. Here's Carrie Underwood with Vince Gill. How Great Thou Art. Live from Las Vegas on Dreamcatcher Radio.
Stars
sing like that. She's super sexy. Super sexy. She sings like that. I wonder if she sings when she's having sex. I wish I could find out, but hey, there you go. That's just a 63-year-old man who's soon 64. Right, France and Britain are bombing Syria. This is where it's all coming time back now down to Iran. Iran said the other day that they are war ready. Oh dear. They've stockpiled thousands and thousands of missiles. They've found the weakness of the Iron Dome, which covers Israel. And Trump, in his wisdom, said to Netanyahu, if you want to attack Iran, you can. And right in the middle of it all is a little island called Cyprus, where I love Cyprus. I've done 3 seasons there now. And Patara is where I was last year, one of the greatest resorts there is. I just love it. And I'm hoping to go back there if it's not sunk. Because it's not just the threat of war between Israel and Iran, which this time it won't be let's send a few missiles and then send a few back and let's get diplomatic. And this is going to be, it's going to go boom, boom, boom. And Turkey is an Islamic state, and they've got some sort of weird, it's like having a mistress, I suppose, that you don't really like. That's the relationship between Israel and Turkey. I don't understand it. I really don't get it. But on the island of Cyprus, what's been the status quo since 1974 is in jeopardy now because, well, it's not looking great. I can tell you that much. It's not looking great what's happening in on the wonderful island of Cyprus. The Greek Cypriots and the Turkish Cypriots are at each other's throats. Farmers are being bullied and threatened by the Turks. There was a massive build-up. I talked about this a lot last year when I was there. I saw a massive build-up on both sides on the green buffer zone, as it's called, the dead man's land. And I think unfortunately, it's going to kick off in Cyprus as well, because Cyprus has Patriot missile battens and other ones from Israel to defend Israel from Iranian or Turkish attacks. And Turkey's just over this little expanse of water, and they're really irritated that Cyprus have got all these defensive missiles which are defending the Israelis. And the sorties which have just happened now with Britain and France bombing Syria, saying they're going after ISIS or whatever epoxy excuse it is, all the sorties were flown out of the British military base on Cyprus. So if you're in Cyprus, God be with you, and hopefully you're still there. Hopefully Cyprus is still there. End of March when I'm supposed to return. Fingers crossed that we get through it all. It's just a continual evolving cycle of death in it right now. I don't really get any of it. But all I will say about Cyprus is it's just like living in paradise. Let's get a bit more light-hearted now before we talk about Ursula von der Leyen. The witch from the west. Here's David Lee Roth. Just like living in paradise. Dreamcatcher Radio. Michael David, Englishman in Sweden. Steve, good afternoon to you. The station manager's tuned in. How are you, mate? Thanks for making the jingles. You're a diamond. Let's go.
How are you all doing? This is Michael Dean, the Englishman in Sweden.
Let us therefore brace ourselves to our duty. So bear ourselves that if the British Empire and its Commonwealth last for 1,000 years, men will still say, this was their finest hour.
Tune in to dreamcatcherradio.co.uk every Tuesday at 2 p.m. for a dose of reality. If you're woke, I suggest you put a nappy on, because you will not like what I've got to say.
Never give in. Never give in. Never, never, never. In nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in except to convictions of honour and good sense.
I look at the events of the week, what's happened, what's going to happen, what we can or can't do about it. Be under no illusion. We, the people of the world, are under attack from the elite, and I intend to expose each and every one of them, regardless of the personal cost. We play some great tunes and we have a lot of laughs. Dreamcatcherradio.co.uk. The Englishman in Sweden, Michael Dean, otherwise known as Mr Marmite. If you listen, you might understand why. You'll love me or you'll hate me.
Never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few.
Thank you, Whiston. Without doubt, the greatest Brit ever. And anybody who says that he wasn't the greatest Brit, pack your bags and get out of Britain. Winston Churchill put the great in Britain. Keir Starmer's taking the great out of it. Well, what can we do about that? I want to talk about Meghan Markle. I watched a movie with her yesterday. I don't know how old it is. It must be old, because how long she's been married to young Hewitt. Been married to young Hewitt quite a while, but I'll tell you what, she's well fit. I don't know why she gets so much grief, to be honest. She's well worth a portion, is Merkel. But she beat P. Diddy. This is great. This is how unpopular her and young Hewitt are. Meghan Markle beat Diddy as the most disliked celeb of 2025. Now, Diddy, he had oil parties and undertook absolutely diabolical and disgusting parties and abused young women and young boys, Justin Bieber being one of them. And Meghan Markle beat him as the most disliked celebrity of 2025. I find that quite amazing. What I also find quite amazing is how the Epstein files have disappeared again. No one's talking about it again. 1 million documents have been dropped. 1 million documents have been dropped about the Epstein scandal. Trump's all over it. Beckham's named. Simon Le Bon's named. Brian Ferry's named. Phil Collins is named. Mick Jagger's named. Rupert Murdoch's named. Brian Ferry's named. Now follow this chain to give you some sort of idea. Jerry Halliway, supermodel. Brian Ferry was given a one. She left him for Mick Jagger, who's decrepit and old. He was given a one. She left him for Rupert Murdoch. I think Rupert Murdoch, I don't even if he knows what giving one means anymore, is that old. And they were all on Epstein's Island. I'm waiting for it to resurface. I'm doing a little bit of research on it now. And I know people are bored of it. I got bored of it because that's all we heard about. This is what the media cycle does, isn't it? It pummels you with just like so much information that it's difficult to grasp onto one thread. Well, I've grasped onto one thread, and I want to know what David Beckham and Victoria Beckham were doing there. I want to know. David, if you're listening, give me a call. But Meghan Markle beats Diddy as the most disliked celeb of 2025. And you remember that Wally who was stood outside of Parliament when Brexit were happening with his own? And well, he's back with his placards, and it's actually true what he said here. Brexit still sucks. Pro-Brexit majority of 2016 has literally died out. Polling experts share. An estimated 74% of Brits want to re-enter the European Union. Now, I live in the European Union, and it's not all roses. It's actually not much fun, to be quite honest. It's rules, regulations, and they're just passing rules and regulations at a whim. if they can cut back on the authoritarian regime that sits in Brussels, all unelected, and get back to some sort of normal living, then I think Britain rejoining the bloc is a no-brainer. I don't care. I'm going to make myself unpopular. I've got a T-shirt now, a British flag, and across the chest it says Brexit, Rexit. That's exactly what I think. But I see it firsthand living abroad, and the challenges and the difficulties Brexit has caused for people like myself, which is obviously, you don't care about that. Why should you? A lot of you, I don't think my listeners are a little bit more queued up. I think the people who listen to my show in particular are wide awake. That's why there's so many of you listening, because I'm saying what you're thinking. And I think you'll agree with me that if had Brexit been done correctly, it would have been phenomenal. But it wasn't. The civil servants, half the government, didn't want it, and so they've just willy-nilly around. They've paid over 80 billion more. They've paid over 100 billion to Brussels since we were supposedly left the European Union. So I, for one, I think a great parting gift that Queer Keir could give to Britain is to rejoin the single market. Now, if you want to talk about that with me, if you've got any points on it, contact me, Mr Marmite, dreamcatcherradio.co.uk. I'd be more than happy to chat with you, debate you, because a debate is all about people having different points of view and different opinions, and letting each other express what they think. Unfortunately, all too often, we're getting shut down, especially people on the right, like myself, who come out with it. I do get a lot of abuse, but I don't care. I've got broad shoulders. I'm old. I don't really give a chuff. I can tell you now, I really don't. It's my opinion that Britain made a huge mistake leaving the European Union. Now, had it gone as was promised by Farage, Mogg, Johnson, 300 million a week to the NHS, etc., and we'd close the borders down, would have been a great thing. But we didn't, because we are not an empire anymore. We're not even a Commonwealth anymore. Australia, New Zealand, they all want to leave. Nobody likes King Charles. Brexit, it was a total and utter sellout. It was just a way to defraud us, to take our wealth. I mean, pre-Brexit and pre-COVID, I had a dream life. Economically sound, set for life. I was going to retire at 60 and just walk my dogs, rescue dogs, drive a Harley Davidson, and have as much sex as possible with my wife. But then I got MS, and Brexit happened before that, and COVID happened, which in turn, the vaccination caused my MS, and my wife left me for an ex-football player, and my life subsequently crumbled. But you can't keep a good man down, and I'm a Yorkshire lad, and in Yorkshire we fight for what we want, we take what we want, and we just get on with it. And Brexit should have been a good thing. It wasn't. It's a disaster, and now you've got countries. This has not just affected Britain, right? It's affected Spain, it's affected Greece, it's affected the whole of the European Union. People with money wanting to get out of Britain have gone, and they've relocated to Spain or to Cyprus or to Greece or wherever, because of the taxes and the unjust treatment they get from a pathetic, ridiculous, uneducated Labour government. And Britain's just left sinking with excessive amounts of slobs, excessive amounts of benefit fraudulent cheaters. Mind you, that said, there's I saw today, there is a daycare centre in America where there's 0 children, and they've had $42 million of benefits from the US government. 42 million, and guess where they were from? Somalia. Yeah, they're always turning up everywhere, aren't they? To say they've got an IQ of 68, they're really running circles around us lot, aren't they? But Brexit, I'm really hoping that Starmer's farewell present to Britain is that he puts Britain back in the single market, because that means we have freedom of movement again, and we can go back to living a good life. And for the people in the United Kingdom who want to get out of the UK and can't because they don't have like the 300,000 euros to buy a Cypriot residency, or the 500,000, which it is now, euros to buy a Spanish one, If we rejoin the single market, you don't have to worry about that. You can just pack your bags and you can get out of Blighty. On the downside, they're estimating an immediate influx of 80,000 coming into Britain. But the good news about that is these people all want to work. So I find that part all pretty fascinating. But I have to go back, and when COVID struck and Brexit happened and the hospitality sector collapsed, I think anybody in my branch, in my line of business, remembers it extremely well because it were a nightmare. And Rishi Sunak, remember that little pint-sized pillock? He was on the bridge of London and he said, anybody in hospitality or entertainment, re-educate yourself. Easier said than done when you're a multi-millionaire and you're a shareholder in a company that deals in adrenochrome and human body parts. But let's not talk about that. Rishi's gone. And he was a lot better than Starmer. But, honestly, as I said, if Starmer puts us back in the single market, I'll throw a party. When I come back, we're going to talk about the treacherous deal that Ursula von der Leyen has just signed with Billy Boy, Uncle Billy Gates. 500 million kids are going to be vaccinated by 2030. Nothing you can do about it. Here's Anastasia. Sick and tired of it. I think we all are. 2026 is a week old.
A little late for all the things you didn't say. I'm not sad for you, but I'm sad for all the time I had to waste. 'Cause I learned the truth. Your heart is in a place I no longer wanna be. I knew there'd come a day I'd set you free. 'Cause I'm sick and tired of always being sick and tired. Your love isn't fair. You live in a world where you didn't listen and you didn't care. So I'm floating on it. No warning goes such a sad song of broken hearts. My dreams of fairy tales and fantasies, oh, were torn apart. Oh, I lost my peace of mind somewhere along the way. I knew there'd come a time you'd hear me say, I'm sick and tired of always being sick and tired. Your love isn't fair. You live in a world where you didn't listen and you didn't care. So I'm floating on it. My love is on the line. 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 My love. Your love isn't fair. I said you live in a world where you didn't listen and you didn't care. So I'm floating on it. Oh, I'm on it.
Oh, the fabulous Anastasia. Have you seen her recently? She looks absolutely fabulous. and still sounds amazing. It's a great song. I mean, she beat cancer a couple of times, didn't she? Fair play to her. She looks absolutely awesome. As does Kylie Minogue. She's beat it a couple of times as well. But listen, Ursula von der Leyen, you wicked old cow. Oh, they are pushing now. EU leader Ursula von der Leyen announces a partnership with Bill Gates to vaccinate 500 million children by 2030. What? And you learn anything from the COVID jab? 500 million. And Britain are doing the same. They're going to make it mandatory for kids, newborns, to get this MDRA, whatever. You know, it's all DNA changing. You know, no one's talking about the digital ID at the moment. No one's talking about what they're doing to us because Trump's destroying the world order. No one's got time to talk about anything except Trump. So they're just passing all these rules. Now, Bill Gates, not elected, not a doctor, not an engineer, not a virologist, owns virus patents, not an epidemiologist, whatever that is, owns vaccine companies, won't vaccinate his own children. His only qualification is money. Question everything. Ursula von der Leyen, weren't it her husband who did a deal or works at Pfizer, and they got millions and millions of euros out of it? She just sits there, doesn't she, in a little perch, in a little box in Brussels, surrounded by destruction by the immigrants that she's wanting to force onto people. I saw an MP from Hungary talking on the news earlier today, and how many millions the EU are finding them for not taking in refugees, asylum seekers and legal immigrants. And his simple answer is, we're not going to take them. Our country's safe. And it is. Fair play to Hungary. I mean, if they like Rod Stewart or they like, singers, I'd probably move there, but they don't want people like me in there now because, as with other countries, they only want youngsters. People they can steal from for the next. I saw another article about how much people like Brits or Europeans or Americans, when they migrate, how much they generate for the countries they're moving to. And for a Brit, it was somewhere in the region of £147,000 of taxes they will generate to the country they moved to under the working career. And an immigrant will cost £400,000. So you tell me how the maths add up. I just don't get it. I don't get anything anymore. I really don't. All I want to do is enjoy my life, have fun, and just walk my dog, go out on dates, eat some nice food which has not been genetically modified, not have to wear a cap when I go out because they're spraying us with God knows what. I want to see my kids. I want to enjoy life. I want them to have a future. We've got to change it all. We really do have to change it all. Here's a band who have reunited. Per Gessler, of course, the wonderful Maria, who passed away, unfortunately, Roxette. But Lena, I know Lena. I met Lena many years ago in a little Bible bashing town called Jönköping, and I think she's done a brilliant standing. And Roxette are back, and they're doing the tour, and so far they've sold 250,000 tickets, and they've done 17 countries. Well done, Roxette. But here's when Marie Fredriksson heading them. This is Sleeping in My Car on Dreamcatcher Radio. Good afternoon.
The moon is alright, the freeway's heading south. My heart is
So much great music's come from Sweden. Roxette, Per Gessler, Marie Fredriksson, now fronted by Lena Phillipson. And Lena, if you're listening, I still fancy you. I doubt you remember when I was DJing at Huset in Jönköping and you came in and you asked me to play one of your records. I didn't know who you were, and you came back with a pile of them. And you were extremely sexy back then. You're extremely sexy right now. Long live Roxette. It's one of those things where people get the arse on because they're like, oh, leave our Roxette alone. And they're not Roxette without Marie. Be happy that the music's still alive. And Lena does a fabulous job. She really does do a fabulous job. Unlike air traffic control in France. Oh, guys, if you're planning on a trip to Tenerife or anywhere, or even from Sweden, the snow's causing problems in France, and tomorrow there's going to be a massive knock-on from the snow and all the problems today. 40% of all flights between 9 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon are already cancelled at Royce Charles de Gaulle Airport. Between 06 and 13, 25% of flights have been cancelled in Orly. Pretty much basically, if you fly over Paris or you fly over France, you're out of trouble because all the planes are going to be displaced as per usual. It's not just in Britain that everything stops when the snow falls. In Sweden, everything just goes on as normal. I mean, it's probably because if you go on my TikTok page, which is Englishman.in Sweden, you'll see a picture I put up. I drive around in a little Ford Fiesta at the moment. It's a nice little car. My daughter's boyfriend fixed it for me as a car dealer. It's a lovely little machine with good money, but it's got winter tyres on it, which means I can drive in snow without any issues whatsoever. Unlike the cars in the UK where this surprises me, right? I don't want to give the idiot government any ideas, but in Sweden it's compulsory. You have to have winter tyres. If you've not got winter tyres, you get a massive fine and you're not allowed on the roads, which I think is great because the number of accidents pertaining to driving on regular tyres in the snow are minimal. It's a good thing. It really is. But as we're talking, 35 kilometres north of Taonua, which is, for those who don't know, is New Zealand, there's been a second earthquake in 12 hours, which is pretty worrying. I think I'd find it very worrying if I were down in New Zealand now. They're having like really, really peculiar weather. Normally it's their high summer now. This is like their equivalent to July. What we get, this is when it should be roasting, but it's not. It's been chucking it down. They've been having storms, and now 2 earthquakes, and the last one on 4.3. I say 35 kilometres north of New Zealand, down in the bottom island, and it was felt all the way up to Wellington and Auckland, and that's the second earthquake in 12 hours, which is pretty disturbing. I love New Zealand. I really do love New Zealand. The best time of my life was spent in New Zealand. All good things come to an end, and it's just one of the consequences of helping people out and trusting people that you shouldn't. But there you go. I'm not going to dwell on it. I'm enjoying my life now. Just a shame that it's getting cracked by earthquakes. Now listen, if you want to laugh, I don't like bullying. I don't like victimising people. God knows I get it plenty enough. Just yesterday or the day before, I had 2 Rod Stewart lookalikes or tributes, whatever you want to call them. They don't understand that I'm so over it. I'm so done with this industry. I just do it now for money, which is wrong. That's why I'm doing all the stuff I enjoy doing and reinventing myself, because there's that many rods now. And I was top of the tree for a long time. And these 2 have got a beef with me, and they're getting the mates to put comments on posts and etc. etc. And so I've just written to them and said, when I come to the United Kingdom in a month or so, you're going to be knocking your teeth out your back end, because I'm not taking it anymore. I'm not being bullied. I'm not being victimised. I'm not being pushed around by anybody. I'm 63 years old, soon 64, and bullying isn't just a thing that affects young kids. It affects us all. And people have just got to get the voices back and say, look, enough's enough. I'm not standing for it. But that said, if you want to have a good laugh any day, go on Facebook or on Instagram or TikTok and follow Joey Brooks. That's B, Joey, Joey Breaux. He has monetarised being an arsehole. He's doing extremely well. He has thousands and thousands of people view all of his posts. He sings the worst singer I've heard probably ever. His timing is totally shot. He ain't got a clue. He's about 3'2" tall, but he gets thousands and thousands and thousands of people watching every post he lays out there. And fair play to you, Joey. I'm not picking on you or victimising you. In fact, I'm bigging you up, because when I'm feeling down, I watch you. You crack me up. You really do. Now, here's an interesting little bit of pop trivia for you. Ozzy Osbourne, God bless him. We all love him, don't we? We all miss him. He was recording an album and he was struggling with lyrics. And one of his mates, Lemmy, remember Lemmy? God bless him as well. He were a no-nonsense straight shooter, weren't he? And Ozzy were writing a song and he just couldn't get anywhere with it. And he asked Lemmy, can you help me out? Now, Lemmy with the Ace of Spades, which for me was a groundbreaking hard rock record. It was just like all about anger. Do you know that Lemmy from Motorhead wrote the lyrics for Mama, I'm Coming Home? I did not know that until yesterday, and it shocked the living hell out of me. It's one of my favourite songs. Let's have a bit of Ozzy. In fact, let's have two in a row from Ozzy Osbourne. Mama, I'm Coming Home, and a brilliant duet together with Lita Ford to follow straight afterwards. You're listening to The Englishman in Sweden on Dreamcatcher Radio.
Times have changed and times are strange. Here I come, but I ain't the same. Mama, I'm coming home. Time's gone by, it seems to be. You could have been a better friend to me. Mama, I'm coming home. You took me in and you drove me out. Yeah, you had me hypnotized. Yeah. Lost and found and turned around by the fire in your eyes. You made me cry, you told me lies, but I can't stand till you say goodbye. get so scared inside and I don't really understand. Is it love that's on my mind or is it fantasy? Heaven is in the palm of my hand and it's waiting here for you. What am I supposed to do with a child of tragedy? If I close my eyes forever, will it all remain unchanged? If I close my eyes forever, will it all remain the same? Sometimes it's hard to hold on, so hard to hold on to my dreams. It isn't always what it seems when you're face to face with me. Like a dagger, you stick me in the heart and taste the blood from my blade. And when we sleep, would you shelter me in your warm and darkened grave? If I close my eyes forever, will it all remain unchanged? If I close my eyes forever, will it all remain the same? Take me. No, I just can't take the pain. Would you ever trust me? No, I'll never feel the same.
Lita Ford, Ozzy Osbourne. Lita still looks well as well. I saw her the other night, not personally in person. I think she's still super sexy as it goes. And that song they wrote in Ozzy Osbourne's house in a closet in between playing with each other. And Mama, I'm Coming Home, Ozzy's pet name for Sharon was Mama. So let me just write, Mama, I'm coming home. Mama, I'm coming. Brilliant songs, brilliant songs. Here's a bit of interesting BS for you. The world's best 12 cities in 2026. Number 10, Barcelona. I remember a few years ago when they tried to mug me. on the main walkway there, and they didn't get it. Instead, one of them got a broken nose. Number 9, Berlin, which is overran, and it's totally Ismailized. Number 8, Dubai, which is always flooding. Number 7, Rome. A very good friend of mine lives in Rome and said that it's deadly. Singapore, I can understand at number 6. Extremely clean and beautiful. Madrid, I don't know about that. Tokyo, I've been in Tokyo, insane place. Right, are you ready? According to Re-Senounce, whoever they are, this is, according to them, the top 3 cities in the world. And number 3, Paris. My God, what a dump. Number 2, New York. It were bad before they got another Akbar as the mayor. Now it's just going to go totally down the toilet. And can you believe this? According to this, so let's see what they're called. Renaissance Consultancy. They were evaluate more than 270 global metropolises with a population of over 1 million, and with a combined of core statistics and user-generated data from Google, well, so that's going to be true then, and Instagram's going to be true then, and TikTok, to score cities across 3 main pillars. Number 1 city, the best city in the world, London. Seriously? I'm not allowed to say the SHIT word, but what a load of crap that report is. Here's Motley Crue. Home Sweet Home.
You know I'm a dreamer, but my heart's of gold. I had to run away high, so I wouldn't come home low. Just when things went right, it doesn't mean they were always wrong. Just take this song, and you'll never be left all alone. Take me to your heart, fill me in your bones. Just one more night, and I'm coming on this long and winding road. I'm on my way, I'm on my way, home sweet home. Tonight, I'm on my way, I'm on my way, home sweet home.
Crew, Home Sweet Home. Welcome back, Vince, after your stroke. I'm glad to see these old time rockers are coming back. Bon Jovi, love them. Motley Crue, love them. They're all coming back. Thank you so much for listening today. I've really enjoyed today's show. I enjoy every week on Dreamcatcher Radio. Thanks to Steve for my jingles and keeping me in the right direction, and co-founder and owner Bradley for your continual support. We've got some great new presenters coming onto this station. It's probably the most diverse radio station you'll hear anywhere. But I'm going to finish off right with a little statistic for you. This is Europe's most dangerous cities. Now, bear in mind, I've just said the best cities to live in. And listen to this. The 30 most dangerous cities in the world. Starts at number 30, Barry. 29, Drogheda. 28, Minsk. 26, Nottingham. 25, Barcelona. 24, Turin. Somewhere in Finland at 23. No, Greece in 23. I can't pronounce it. Theodosic. 22, Milan. Dnipro in Ukraine at 21. Number 20, Dublin. Number 19, Brussels. Number 18, Odessa. Number 18, in Portugal, Amadora. Number 16, Athens. 15, most dangerous country in the world, is London. 14, Malmo. 13, Nice. 12, Manchester. 11, Lyon. 10, Paris. These are just been in the top 3 places to live. Number 9, Nantes. Number 8, Liège. Number 7, Montpellier. They're not doing very well in France, are they? Number 6, Genova. Number 5, Naples. Number 4, Birmingham. Number 3, Coventry. Number 2, Marseille. And before I say number 1, what do all these countries have in common? Yes, heavily populated by Muslims. Number 1 most dangerous country in the world, city to live in the world, is Bradford. Congratulations, Bradford. Thanks for listening to Dreamcatcher Radio with me, Michael Dean, the Englishman in Sweden. See you all again next Tuesday. Let's finish off calling on you. Let's talk to God. Happy New Year. We're talking to you all next Tuesday. Take care. Ta-da. Striper, by the way, calling on you. Thanks for listening to Dreamcatcher Radio, the Englishman in Sweden, with me, Michael Dean. God bless you all. May we have a joyful, peaceful 2026.